Hey guys. So Veronica and Phoenix and I did a video tonight. We chose to go on Zoom and do it recorded. There's a few things I'll edit. My dog's down here whining at me. But after the shadow banning that happened and last night, as well as a whole bunch of us got attacked, including myself, last night. It was an etheric attack. Several of us had a lot of entities and holograms, excuse me, implants, and whether it's actual abduction scenarios and going back and forth and whatever, or if it's actual holograms of that, doesn't matter. We're gonna still talk. And so we did a little bit of energy work and some blessings, talked a little bit more about Save the Children, some of our experiences, which are really touchy. I'm really proud of Phoenix for opening up. I know it's some really challenging things to talk about. And anybody else on here that feels like they would like to join, just let me know. I did reactivate my Zoom so we can do, I think it's like 50 to 100 people or something. I don't imagine us having that many, but um, I know there's a few people that have wanted to talk about their experiences in a setting that's non-judgmental. And in a safe space to discuss a lot of these sensitive topics. A lot of times I try to use words that are non-triggering since we're on platforms that like to shadow ban. Like this morning where I wasn't able to, excuse me, do anything on Facebook. I could see things, but I couldn't like or post or share or it was really weird. My experience last night was really rough. I'm still really tired. I never fully recovered this today. Um, I'm gonna go inside again because I'm feeling some more stuff on my head tonight and clear off everything, ground again, which I've been doing all day. But after that last video was cut off, I just felt really confused and just very tired, so I went to bed. And usually I'm up sometimes between 3 and 4 in the morning. It's just kind of the way my body does it. My guides are like, get up, meditate. So, but I wasn't. I actually slept in until about 6 this morning, which is not typical. And it was a really hard, weird sleep. My body, when I got up, was aching all over. Anybody that's ever experienced autoimmune disease, I'm sure that you have felt that exhaustion or that all over, even when you get the flu, that all over body ache. It was to the bone. And weird, but it felt like somebody had abducted me, beat the shit out of me, especially from my hips down. My legs were so weak. It was like walking on jello. It was really weird. Or being on a ship. If anybody's ever had ship legs and you're on a ship or a boat for a long time and come on land, you feel like you're still swaying and moving. Excuse me. Gotta get your, get rid of your sea legs and get your land legs on. Um, awesome. Would you like to talk, Ryan? I'll bring you on. I'm talking about my experience last night being attacked after talking about some sensitive stuff, so I'll bring you on. But then I felt like I was thrown into a dark room for 2 weeks, not fed, just given water, not given light or anything, just isolated. and then sent back. And that's what it felt like this morning. So a lot of people that I've talked with have had um, different things that a lot of us have taken turns taking off. And so, yeah, it took a lot of Reiki today. Like I said, I'm still tired, but I'm not having the hard asthma attacks I was having, and just that exhaustion. And so, anyway, guess that one is off. There you are again. There we go. Trying to get this to work. I got my internet fixed today. I had to have it looked at. Everything was so screwed. There you go. How are you
There you
doing?
go. All right. I'm gonna make sure I get this thing working right here.
I'm hoping you're hearing me okay. I don't even have my headset on.
Yeah, I hear you fine. One second here. I'm trying to make my camera a little clearer here. Hold on, give me a second.
Might even put mine
Again,
back up.
I'm gonna try and clean it. I'm trying to clean my camera real fast.
Oh, yeah. Here. I'm just gonna dock it again. I got off the
I'm
record.
gonna I'm gonna exit. I'm gonna exit and come back. I found the problem. Hold on.
Okay, you're good.
That should be way better now. Right? I got enough light,
Good.
right? Okay.
Yeah, got plenty of light.
Okay. I missed the beginning part. What was the exact subject? Because what I'd like to share is the transformation I went from being a normal person and then becoming a human and then becoming a light worker.
Share away. We're just kind of we've been
Okay, here's
hitting
something.
things.
Here's something that here's something I've shared with quite a few people, and those that actually know me personally know that this is a very real thing, and that the metaphysical realm is a very real concept that people need to get a hold of. Okay, most of the people on our planet um, suffer from a lot of psychological stress because they're living a lie. Also,
Oh yeah.
too, the notion of fear rules their lives when we're all gods individually.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened in my experience actually bring me to these points, and I want to stay on one subject at a time here. So a doctor, very important doctor in the regenerative medicine field, commissioned me with a task. Um, I carry a degree in horticulture and a 2 year in organic chemistry. And
Nice.
the task that was laid before me was to grow some psychedelic mushrooms that I had never messed with before. Mycology was just like a very small part of what I did in school, right? And
Nice.
and we were going to take them and use them on groups of vets that were suffering from PTSD.
Mm.
So I found somebody that had some property, and I went out there and I grew these things. And what I noticed was that the mycelium mat would reach out towards me. It would finger out towards me and like reach up the side of the tub. And I'm like, let me turn the tub. It's just reaching for a light or something, right? I didn't think it was me, right? Started noticing that it was me that it was reaching for. I would turn it, would do it different way. I'd sit somewhere else and I'd read a book. I used to sit in the room and read books, and I would play music inside the room. Ever since I saw this a video about this Japanese guy that did a test on snowflakes and sound vibrations.
Saro Emoto.
Yeah. So I'm a big fan of him, and so I was in there reading this book. I'm playing Grateful Dead music. I'm playing the Grateful Dead music, just novelty stuff. But I played more classical music in there. That was just novelties, just to be fun, right?
Right.
And it came time for things to start fruiting in these tubs. And I'm like, oh, here we go. So I get the stuff, take it to the doctor, and give it to him, right? But I kept the one that I saw the fingerlets keep reaching
Yeah.
out. And even when it started the fruit, they would lean towards me when I was misting them. And I was
Wow.
like, it's just probably the mist, it's whatever. But at this time, I wasn't an awoken human. Oh no,
Right.
no, no, no. I was a little bit of a dick. I was very caught up in my ego and stuff. I was a professional gamer before. I had millions of people in my fandom and stuff, right? And
Mhm.
so I do this, and I said, maybe I should take these. So I'm gonna take them, right? Well, I didn't know anything about dosage. I didn't know anything like that. There's no like real thing to go look up. Oh, what should I take? What should I do, right? So I said, forget it. I just go look it up. I made sure it wouldn't kill me. So I did them all.
Oh
Yeah,
crap.
no,
My
no, don't
God.
ever do that. I weighed it. It weighed about 144 grams. And I called
Wow.
my friend up and I said, hey, I'm about to go do this. Um, make sure you come check on me.
Oh shit.
Yeah, big mistake.
Oh
Big mistake. I wasn't,
man.
I didn't come to, it didn't subside for about, I don't know, I'd say 2 weeks. It didn't subside. I
Oh
think I peaked. I think I had a 5-day peak. I'm not sure. And
wow.
I wasn't actually, I didn't actually feel back to myself until 4 months later. But what happened is I can actually articulate what happened to me. I actually am a very intelligent person, and to regurgitate what happened and to give the good parts of it. There was challenging parts. I won't say there was bad parts, but there was challenging parts. There was things I didn't know I didn't haven't dealt with yet that I needed to deal with. And so what I believe happened first is because I had taken so much. Well, first off, as it came on, my living room broke apart and
Wow.
fractaled out, and then I was sent through it looked like the rifling of a barrel,
Hmm.
and I got shot out of it. Boom! And I wind up watching the universe get born, and I saw the female entity that spawned our universe, and she was
Hmm.
talking to me. And I watched the universe get born, and then I traveled over to Orion's belt and met all kinds of other civilizations there. Talked and interacted with things and beings that I had no understanding what they were. But these blue people that were looked like birds, they almost looked like Howard the Ducks, literally. I think they called themselves the Avalonians. I'm not sure. But these blue bird people were using their hand like sign language, like, like this, right? But I could clearly hear them in my head.
Hmm.
And it was unmistakable. And from what I understood, I think these blue bird people like are running the show as far as like the universe. I think they're running the show.
Hmm.
But I go through some past lives, and the one that mattered the most to me, which made me understand why a lot of systems of control have never worked on me. I
Mhm.
went all the way back to Charlemagne's court to where we invented government and what a social establishment of society would be. So I was very aware of the lie then.
Right.
And that's why those systems of control never worked on me. Wait till your dad gets home. That never worked. I was always very, I always got into a lot of trouble in school. I didn't listen very well. I never did. I always wanted to do my own thing. And by the time I was 16, I was saving up money and like going to the beach every day and stuff. Like, I skipped a lot of school. I didn't like going to school. So I see this stuff in my trip, and I witness on what real purpose is. what my purpose was and what my role is to play in all this. And I was also imbued with knowledge, knowledge that I didn't know, knowledge that was given to me. And but even though I was given a task by a taskmaster, um, that task was to change everybody's frequency to 432 and to show everybody that love is the most powerful vibration out there. But I didn't know how to do that right away. And two, when I first started to sober up, I couldn't be around anybody. I had a live-in girlfriend at the time, um, and she was very concerned for my mental health. But what happened is I could see, and still to this day, it really happens. It happens a lot. I have to really try hard to keep my spirit from washing over people. But when I first came to, the reason I couldn't get within 20 feet of anybody. What would happen is I could hear them in their head. I could see their foremost problem on their mind. I could see if they were ill. I could feel too much of them, and it would make me feel batty, and it was very, very uncomfortable. We didn't have a neighbor at that time, and my neighbors aren't very close to me, and I didn't have one at the time. But he wound up moving in a couple weeks after that, and I had to change what bedroom I slept in because I could see what was going on in his head. Finally, I
Wow.
knocked on his door and I started to talk to him about. He was like, "You don't even know me." I'm like, "Yeah, let me explain that a little bit before you think I'm a real weirdo." And I told him what happened to me, right, and talked to him, and that's when I started to realize the purpose. I had a means for that purpose now, and it's taken me uh, almost 2 years. It's almost 3.5 years ago this happened to me, and it's taken me about 2 years to really get a grasp of it all. Um, I didn't know, I didn't have answers at first, right? So I'm trying to recall it right from the beginning. And what was going on for me is I wanted to help people, but it would scare me. I could see how I could get in a lot of trouble very fast because
Right.
most of the psychology that people are under, their fear response would be so great that they would hurt me,
Mm.
or they would try to hurt themselves and me at the same time, right? And I didn't truly understand what healing touch was or energy work was, but I knew that if I got close to somebody, they would get so hot that they would almost start to throw up and get very nauseous. And I didn't know what I was doing to them, so I just would stay away from people. Well, that really messed up my intimacy too with my fiance at the time. Um,
Right.
I would get within about 3-4 inches of her, and I would just cook her. So
Hmm.
we started
Wow.
reaching out, trying to figure out, what's going on with me and what to do. And so, anyways, I go through all this and I go through this transformation, but it completely changed my perspective. My perspective went from me being in the middle of the crowd, reacting to everything around me, to now having the third eye view or the God's eye view, right? Where
Right.
I look down at everything and I can assess it, but then I choose on how I'm going to interact with it. And since then, I've won a couple bouts against cancer, helped a couple people with cancer. I've
Mhm.
helped a lot of people with psychological problems. But here's the weird part about all of this too, that now that I've started to dabble a little bit, I don't do any of the spiritual warfare stuff. I did that one time. I did an exorcism, and I'll never do that again. Never. No, 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 not something I want my experience to be having. No, no more of that.
Yeah, a recipe with exorcism that, you've got to definitely study the dark arts and
Yeah,
walking through
nope,
hell.
don't want none of that. Nope. Nope, nope. I was successful, but what I saw can't be unseen.
Yeah,
You can't
there's some.
unsee that. You can't unsee seeing something in somebody else.
Mhm.
That ooh, gave me chills just
That's
now. Ooh, my
That's not
spine
even
got all woozy.
that's
Whew.
not even the worst thing that you can ever see. There's some crazy, crazy shit that
Yeah,
any
there
of us
is. And,
that
you
have done
know,
the work. Wow.
yeah. And like, no, I tried. And what the weirdest part with all this is that I'd say 85% of all the people I help are women, 15% are maybe guys. But I know another shamanistic woman, and she's like, it's the reverse. I have all the dudes, and she's like maybe 15,
I
20%
noticed that
guys.
too. I
And
noticed
I'm like,
that.
wonder why that is.
Well, and I
Why do you
think
think
a
that
lot of
is?
what I'm actually studying Lisa Renee's energetic synthesis Hyros Gamos system,
Hmm.
and she talks a lot about the rod and the staff, that
Yeah,
male female energy, and of course, a person that's balanced and centered in their 0 point or their observation, point. It's like that rod and staff is balanced. And I think a lot of us that have become more balanced or have been in that balancing process that have woken up doing our work, we're attracting people that are of that similar frequency that maybe just need a little boost, or maybe they can't see or feel psychically what we can. Because of course, as you've realized, when you do this work, you see something, it is what it is. It could be weird, off the wall shit, but this is what
yeah,
it is.
it's what it is.
It's
Yeah.
crazy how accurate it is. If you just
Oh,
flow and just
I know, right?
what we're
It's mind
experiencing.
blowing. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, so it was just a little touch after July, and I went to Turner Bend, and I was there with a group of friends actually, and we were attacked by an archon. And
Mm,
let me tell you what, after my little exorcism thing, that stuff happened. That was really uncool. That's not something you just so easily forget about. There was
mm-mm.
something that grabbed me, and I totally felt it grab me, grabbed my friend too.
Oh
But
yeah,
it
they're
like
real.
it darkened everything around us, and the cicadas even stopped. The cicadas
Hmm.
stopped everything. And I was like, oh my god, the one time I don't bring organite, I get
Mm,
this. And I'm like, okay, that's it. And I set up a circle of cigarettes lit around us. I built a really big campfire. I turned
mm,
up some really loud binary beats, right? Turned it up very loud. And I started telling jokes to my friends, and we started laughing, and that's how we got it away.
right.
Telling a lot of jokes, a lot of laughter, the music, fire, and a ring of tobacco around us. But it took about 45, 50 minutes before it went away. And as soon as it did, the cadence came back. Everything it got brighter out. I couldn't believe though that it got darker. And I was like,
It,
"What the heck?"
no, it's crazy what those entities will do, and they come by any a number of names. For myself, lately, what I've done, and some people maybe you'll say like in the name of Christ or Jesus or whatever. I just state my purpose. I am God, sovereign, free, because that's what we are. We are sovereign, we are free, and we might still feel that energy. And then, of course, I do a 12D shield. That this last attack, not the one last night, but the one a few weeks ago when my son was also jumped by the same being. It was just like, it was so frustrated trying to get to me when I just kept saying, I'm God sovereign free, God sovereign free. And then I finally look at it and I'm like, you can't touch me. And
Oh yeah,
it is
no. I'm so
happiness. But,
glad.
oh God, yeah. They don't
I'm
like the
so
light. They
glad.
don't like the way to
No,
win.
what was weird is like, so I've been searching for a lot of people that are like me, right? Or like us.
Right.
And because it's hard to have these conversations with other people that aren't
It really
awoken. Very
is.
hard, very hard. But it makes for a little bit of a lonely existence, even though I'm surrounded by people constantly. Between work and what I do and when I game and stuff, I'm constantly surrounded by people, right? But it
Well, and it's a different kind of being around people. I mean, I don't know. I've always kind of been that anxious child anyway, just because I've always been an intuitive. I never forgot. I've always remembered. It's just the meaning was taken away, and it was just these random paranormal experiences that I'm like, I can't explain. But now it's like, oh
Right.
shit, that's the space program, or holy cow, that's military abductions, or alien abduction, or I just dealt with somebody's dead grandpa, or but we all have those abilities, which is really cool.
Yeah,
And
we're all
see,
wired the same. Like
wake up to
I've
that.
uh I've awoken. Well, I've been awakening people for a very long time now, and I'd say up 200 plus people have awoken. I used to take people on a lot of float trips. I used to take them. Water's the best conduit for me. Um,
Good. That's
yeah, getting
awesome.
around water and what it is like the best thing that I want to invite people to the concept of is that what you put out there does come back because it's vibrational frequency. Okay.
Mm-hmm. It really does.
And if you're one of those, oh shit, woe is me, fuck this, that, blah, blah, blah. What do you think's gonna come back to you, right?
Mhm.
But if people would just learn to do a little bit of manifestation each day, write it down 3 times, say it 6 times aloud, repeat that step 9 times, right? You can manifest your own reality. Or if you just learned to smile, which it takes 14 more muscles to frown, a smile
Mhm.
and a kind word could totally get things more done. So if you could learn to love your brothers and sisters, things
Bingo.
would just get so much easier. And you know what? Even though I don't share the same opinions with my friends, we can still disagree and be the best of friends. I
Hmm.
don't have to agree with everything, no. But the
Absolutely.
one
And
thing that
nobody's.
holds true, yeah, the one thing that should ring true for everybody, though, is that we're here for an experience. And that can be selfish sometimes. And my experience is my experience. And if I choose to share it with others, hey, good for them. Hey, great for me if they share theirs with me. Oh, that's fun too, right? But no, ultimately, I'm here for my experience. And I've done this, I planned all this before. I planned to have it this way. I planned to be who and what I am. Knowing now that I'm a multidimensional being, having an experience has brought peace to my life.
That's awesome.
And I
That's an
try
extreme
to,
trip too. Holy cow. I did some research a while back. I think it was Stanford University that had done research on depression and cancer and anxiety with mushrooms. And they were saying with the psilocybin, it's about an eighth of a teaspoon ground powdered mushroom to 100 pounds of body weight. And then you would
right.
do it either every day or every other days for 60 to 90 days.
So this is the microdosing regimen that I tell people to
Right.
do is that
Right. I think
it's a
that's the
half a
one.
gram, right? You want to
Is
do a
it?
half a gram of like golden teacher or penis envy, some cubensis B, half a gram of that, a third of a gram of lion's mane also to add to it. And then you want about 10, maybe 15 milligrams of niacin too. All that together in one capsule. You can get a
Well,
big triple zero. You can get a big triple
right.
zero capsule and take that.
Wouldn't you want
And
to
you
do
want
the niacin instead of the niacin though, since it's the more natural form of it?
no, you want all three of those mixed together because what it is so the psilocybin remaps creates more synapsual connections in your mind. The lion's mane backs that up by lubricating the synapses and the new connections that you make. But in order for all the medicine to truly get in your brain, that's what the niacin's for because it gets to the blood barrier in your brain. So you get all
Hmm.
of it, right? You actually have a problem too when you ingest things this way as well, is because you have what's called an absorption rate. Okay.
Right.
So let's say you drink a glass of water, you probably only get 30% of that glass,
Right.
right?
True.
Urinate the rest of it out, right? So it's the same thing, but that's why I tell a lot of people you want to fast for about 20 hours before going on a mushroom quest or a cleansing trip, right? And you want to do lemon tech. You want to soak in lemon until it turns purple. And you want to then mix it with a little bit of ginger ale because the ginger ale will calm your stomach as you drink it. But Adding the lemon to it, what it is you're matching the acidity of your stomach. So it's ready
Right.
to be digested as you drink it. So that way you're getting all of it, right? And the thing that I tell people this is like most of the time, most of my conversations end with people at, yeah, you need to go find somebody that's going to give you some mushrooms and you need to go take them. And that's where most of my conversations end with people
Nice.
because they get the notion of fear. The notion of fear is so great that they'll never fix themselves, right?
Mhm.
And people ask, oh, well, why do you have to have mushrooms or why do you have to have dimethyltryptamine or whatever? I don't ever suggest LSD as an awakening tool. No, no, it doesn't work the same at all. Lysergic diethylamine is more of a party thing, right?
Yeah.
Sacred medicine with mushrooms, dimethyltryptamine, ayahuasca, stuff like that.
Well,
Amadea
and then
muscaria.
those you definitely want to make sure that you understand your meds because there are meds that can interact.
Yeah.
And so data is something that you'd want to look up to follow because there's certain ones like non-steroidal anti-inflammatories and like antidepressants you want to be off of for 45 days before and 45 days after doing your
Yeah. And,
medicine journey. It can actually
you know,
hurt your kidney
I tell
liver.
these people, I tell this stuff to people, right? When they come to me for help,
Right.
because here's the also thing too. I've actually never charged $1 to help anybody. I've done it all for free. It's all come out of my own pocket. I won't take their money. Now, if they want to donate gasoline or items to
Mhm.
help further my cause, now that's one thing. But I won't take $1 for it. I refuse to, because money's not the way to go, right? The thing is what I tell people this is that Western medicine is a joke,
Mm.
and so you shouldn't be taking those pills anyways, right?
Yeah.
If you were truly in touch with who and what you are, you wouldn't have these problems. The reason you're having these problems is because you live this lie, and the lie is eating you up inside. Okay,
Yeah. A lot of the food
opiates.
issues, right?
Oh yeah,
Drugs that
bad
people,
energy in the food. You're not getting the food right, especially too GMOs.
yeah,
You're ingesting poisons, right? And people don't know what that is really. They don't even know. Or like the biggest thing I try to educate people is when I see one of my friends with a soda pop and I says, "You see where it says citric acid?" I said, "Forget the fructose corn syrup. That's actually not that bad. It's still bad, but it's bad." But I said,
yeah.
why don't you read what citric acid is?
The black
Why don't you read
mold,
about that? Yeah,
it's pretty,
go find out what citric acid is because it's in all your soda, right?
yep.
Or go look up what aspartame really is because you think, oh, I'm gonna drink diet soda. Yeah, great. That's a good idea. Oh, or here's my favorite. Oh, dude, I woke in the morning. I was so dehydrated. I just drank right out of the tap. Oh man, dude. Let me tell you what. Fluoride was invented by the Nazis, and it was the
Yeah.
greatest brain control drug that they ever found. And the reason I tell people, okay, so back to what I originally said, why the organics, why you have to use them to free people, people won't be able to get there on their own, is because you grew up with what's called the postage stamp. And the postage stamp is you were fed a reality that was given to you by your parents. And you will mimic that reality until you were able to make your first clear, concise, new thought that was uninhibited from anything else that you absorbed in your intellect mind. Yeah, here's where all the problems start, right? Well, oh, I couldn't, I could never live without my God. Oh, hell no, right? Uh, well, what name are you calling God? Because millions of other people believe that there's all kinds of gods, right? But
Right.
you are a God, right? So start there with that temple first.
Oh,
Start with your
yeah.
temple first and get that clean before you worry about worshiping something else, right? Because you got to get
Exactly.
right first, right? And the other
Clear that
part
fear.
is, yeah, the other part is like, so this postage stamp has told your intellect mind that all of this is just a big joke, that it's witchcraft, that it's fake, that oh, you're just some hippie high on drugs. Your mind's being manipulated by hallucinogenic substances. Okay, sure. Yeah. I eat 144 grams of mushrooms. I take an IQ test 10 months later and I score 168. That's 9 more points, I think, than Einstein, right?
Really, really reconstructed your brain. That's amazing.
Maybe and not only did that, but like it has made me a little bit less sociable because my intellect mind is so acute now. If some I can't go to a bar anymore and have a conversation with somebody.
Yeah, it gets awkward.
I can't. It, everybody's so dumb. I hate to say it, but that's a bad way to say it. But that's what my brain says. Oh my god, I can't even have a conversation with this person, right? And I try to stay away from talking about the metaphysical realm when I'm just out in public. Now, when I'm with others with me, sure, it's a great subject to talk about, right? And I understand it, I get it, and I'm blessed to have been able to have the experience and to become who and what I am now, right? But brothers and sisters, if you guys can hear this video and take these words, love is the ultimate vibration. And you can raise your vibration. Do so, please, and try to teach others how to do that because this is your meat suit. This is your avatar body, and you're here for an experience. So make the most of that experience. When you can open your heart and your mind, and you can actually bestill your mind, you'll learn to listen. And when you learn to listen, you'll start to get really educated and gain real knowledge. That's how
Right.
that's how and what and where it all is, right? Means, needs, and wants. You need to categorize that.
Yeah.
Means, needs, and wants. You need to categorize that stuff. You need to understand too that this is of the flesh, right? A lot of this is of the flesh.
Right.
And this meat suit, this avatar body that you're in, there's something greater. So don't worry about your own mortality. That should be the last thing you're worried about. Because that's going to happen regardless of whether you control it or not. But control can be an illusion too, right? So what I try to do is I try and say this, and I try to do this too in my relationships and my friendships too. I say, when people ask me, I get a lot of questions and people come to me for advice and stuff like that. And I say, look, I'm no different than you. Ask your heart those questions. Feel, feel your answer. And if you want to ask your conscious self, your consciousness, a question before you go to bed at night, say it out loud, very loudly. You don't have to yell it, but out loud. And when you wake up in the morning, the answer will be there.
Really will be.
I try to catch my sun gazing while grounding. I get my feet in the dirt and I try and get my sun gazing in between like 5:50 to 7 o'clock in between there. If I run a little late, I stick a little, I take a pin and I put a hole in a piece of paper and I hold the piece of paper up and I look through the pinhole.
Oh, cool.
That helps. Because I do work restaurant, right? So sometimes I just sleep right through the mornings. It's just late. I
Right?
can't always get it right. But the last thing I'm going to share before I take off here is that so I found a way for you as individuals to work on removing the notion of fear of your minds. Okay. And what happened was is one morning it was actually microdose Monday. I have a thing I microdose every Monday, no matter what, whether I'm doing a routine or not. All right. It was microdose Monday, and I go outside and I got a really distinct message.
Hmm.
And it says, Ryan, you're going to free Melissa's mind of the notion of fear. And once you do that, you're going to send this message to everybody that you know. So here's the message, ladies and gentlemen. It's that in the song Car Radio by 21 Pilots, told me to go listen to this song. So I go inside and I play the song. And I hear a little bit of the message. So I wound up repeating the song 6 times. And I go, oh my God, there's a message here. What the message was is it's saying to go stand in front of your mirror, fully disrobed, in your birthday suit. Turn the sink on and let the sink fill about 3/4 of the way with water. Turn the sink off. Look in the mirror. No matter how long it takes, because eventually it's going to happen as soon as you start to fidget. Okay? As soon as you start to fidget, stare at the water and only say, I'm now going to stick my face in it, and look back in the mirror. Watch what happens. I've had to catch a few people. Their body goes into complete convulsions sometimes. One of these people, I had a silent observer on speakerphone when I was doing it to Melissa, and she went into convulsions. I caught her. She hit the floor. I caught her though, and it took a minute because it literally reset her brain. She was dead sober.
Oh, wow.
It reset
Wow.
it, and then when she came to, it only took a few seconds, right? But all this happened really fast, and she was like pouring tears, right?
Oh,
She gets back up off the floor, and he's like, "Oh my God, is she okay?" And I'm like, "Calm down, just wait, just wait, just wait." The epiphany is going off in her head. I can see it. I can see a new sunrise in her mind. And she stands up. She's wiping the tears off. She goes, "Oh my God, I thought you were, I thought you were out of your mind. I thought you were gonna try and tell me to drown myself or something." I go, "No, that was the trick that you played on your mind, right?" She uh, she became a completely different person. There was this. Finally, I could see it. I could see the light in her eye. I could see it. It was there. The permagrin was there. And I want to, I want to part with this. I've seen you a lot, sister. I commented a lot. We've actually been friends for a little while. I want to issue a blessing, and that blessing is may all the positive vibrations of this universe bounce through you, resonate inside of you, sister. And I hope
awesome.
that you share and never stop sharing strength and hope.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much. That's beautiful.
Any
You
questions you got?
too.
Anything else you want from me, sister? Anything I can help you with?
God. I don't know. I think I really like that you came on here and shared your experience. That's beautiful, raw, amazing, very insightful. And I hope that more people will be willing to do that. I've been thinking about it, and I don't know how many of the lives I'm gonna extract and put on YouTube. But I feel like the community just coming together and doing something like this and talking and having an
Well,
outlet.
I'm gonna set up a workshop. I'm gonna invite you to it. I'm
Oh,
so I built a mobile restaurant. You seen all that get up I got, right?
mm,
Yeah. So because of COVID, obviously we can't run the restaurant, right? And all the music festivals have been canceled. So I'm going to take all that gear and I'm going to set up a shamanistic workshop to teach the human experience to people. And I'm
that's
going
all.
to invite others to. I'm going to. It's either going to be Birds or at the farm in Eureka, one of the two places, right? But I'm gonna get this set up actually kind of soon. I don't care how cold it is. I'll build a fire big enough, and I got enough equipment. I can fit over 100 people inside of just one of my tents.
Oh,
So
nice.
I got propane heaters. I got everything. So I'm not worried about the cold. Plus, too, if people, if hey, one thing I forgot to mention here, which I totally just remembered, the cold can actually be the greatest teacher for the
Yeah.
intellect mind. Um, I didn't know about the Wim Hof method until about a year after my experience. Okay. But I went out to the Kings River. I did a couple of videos on my page. You could look it up and just type in my video section. There aren't a lot of videos in my Facebook page, but there are some there. I went out to Big Clifty, and then I boated over to uh, the Hog Skull Bald, the Indian Healing Spring there. Have you
Mm.
been there? Okay. Go over there. Water's 42 degrees. Okay.
Woo.
Strip off butt naked. butt naked. I do the breathing. I do the breathing exercise for a minute and a half. Dive in the water. Freak out. I freak
Oh
out.
shit.
Okay. Yeah. It takes, but I tough it out. I tough it out. I'm totally losing my crap. Right. But I'm toughing it out because I'm like, I know this is gonna pass. I'm stronger than this. Right. About a minute. Let's say about a minute 42, 45, whatever. Um, my body snaps to this change, and my blood rushes to the surface of my skin and makes this like a wetsuit around me. I surfed for a
Hmm.
lot of years. I know what the feeling's like. All of a sudden, my blood made like a suit around me, and my core was totally fine. And the next thing I know, I'm just like, "Yo, what? This is great! Oh, it's awesome!" And then I climb out of the water, and I'm in my birthday suit, right? I'm in my natural form, right? It was, I think it was high 40s, maybe 50 out, and I'm just standing there, and I'm totally fine. And I
Wow,
was like that for like 2 hours too. The
that's
first
amazing.
and ever since then, I've never even had a sniffle. And that's years. I've gone years and don't even know what that is. And there's a difference because see, I do preach a concept. I do preach the concept that, and I invite all you brothers and sisters to this, is that your body is a holographic image of your conscious self. Okay? With that knowledge, there is a difference between illness and disease. And please take that COVID-19 very seriously because it's a virus. That's actually an animal, okay, that you're getting attacked by, okay? Illness is done internally inside of you. Being attacked by a foreign animal that's microbial is a virus.
Right.
It will and can kill you. This is not a joke, people. And I know we should be free and we shouldn't be controlled by the government or whatever, but you know what? If you truly love people, then you need to respect them and you need to respect their experience too and try to not be a bad influence on that. Yes, you know what? You don't see me wear a mask a lot. No, you don't. But I highly doubt there are people that are like me or have gotten to the point where I am now with my experience and my reality, right?
Right.
And I invite them to. I tell you, man, I've tried it all. I've actually taken I took the first time I did DMT, I took 10 hits of it.
Oh
Nobody
wow.
gets past. Nobody usually
The
gets past the third one, right? Nobody usually gets past that third one, but I took 10, and it really
Wow.
didn't do all that much because of what happened to me in my psychedelic mushroom experience, right?
Yeah,
But
that's that's quite a trip. Shit.
I mean, any other time when I could embellish a little more. Some of the stuff I just won't say on camera because I believe that's sacred information that just doesn't get
Right.
shared with people that aren't ready to receive it.
And that's wise. I think throwing our proverbial pearls before swine, there's different things that we can share and there's other things that we hold sacred, and that's really cool that you do that.
Oh yeah, no, I like having the gift of sight that I do have now is I'm tuned into all the radio stations, all the frequencies. So I have to be careful because I leave my body a lot. That's not so healthy to do a lot, but I lay
Mm,
on that ground. I lay on that ground and I dig my heels in. And I'm pressed into it. I press myself into it. Okay, the molds around me a little bit. When I close my eyes, I see everybody. I see everything around me. And I started by just turning the lights off in my room and closing my eyes and laying on my bed and seeing everything in my room. And I progressed. And then I could see a little further, a little further, and a little further. But this is years. This is years of practice. Okay. But now when I lay on the earth, okay, when I lay there, I can feel the pain. I can feel the earth cry out a little bit. We're suffocating her. We're suffocating her and she's getting sick. And we need to pay attention to that. But also what it is that I hear the outcry and the consciousness with everybody that has just died because we've had massive, massive deaths happen. I can hear it. I can hear it and all, but it's good. And I tell people this, hey, death should never be a grieving process because how selfish of you to do that. How selfish of you, right? You should be celebrating because that person is finally free of the dogmas and institutions that are in our psychological profile right now, right? They're free of that. And now they have joined the greater consciousness. And we're only on like the 89th rung here, you know. We got a lot more to go, right? Because let me tell you what, those blue bird people are actually really cool. The Avalonians are awesome, man. They're really neat.
Well,
Love you,
that's really,
sister.
love you
Anytime
too.
and every time. Open door, okay?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ryan. Thank you for coming on and sharing that. That's beautiful.
Thanks
Powerful
for having
experience.
me.
Yeah, you bet.
Love everybody. May the vibrations of the universe be with you all.
Heck yeah.
Bye bye.
Bye. We'll see you. Awesome. Thank you so much. So I will, as I was talking about earlier, before we brought Ryan on, it was a beautiful experience that he had with his awakening. Talking about saving the children, of course, our experiences that we're sharing spiritually, awakening. I'd like to do this more. I don't know if I'll be able to do it as late each time just because I get up so super early. But like I said, Veronica and Phoenix and I did a video. I'll be editing tomorrow. Of course, it's too late tonight. I'm really tired. But I'll start editing that and then get that posted hopefully by the beginning of the weekend. Looks like my computer finally downloaded it, so I just got to go through those steps of getting it so I can edit it, and we'll get there. Thank you so much, guys. Love y'all, and talk to you later. Peace out.